and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Karen, for having me. I'm super excited for this opportunity. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here. So, the first question is really always about your backstory. So, what sparked your initial interest in real estate, and how did your background in international business contribute to that?
So to be honestly, I haven't been a real estate agent as long as I'm in the United States. So I kind of like moved to here early 2017. I would say at the end of 2016. It was a job relocation. I was actually moved from China. So I kind of gave up like all my stuff, leave everything behind and took this job. And then to start a US branch for the company based in China. And then when I first got to here, everything seems like just so interesting, so fascinating to me, especially, trying to rent a house, rent an office space. I just realized how much different, it is than back then in China. So I kind of like sparked this interest to the real estate world. And then after 1 year with my company, I just couldn't really get what I want. And also, both of our goal wasn't really aligned, so it didn't work out. So I decided to quit to pursue real estate. And at that time, I did not think, this is the way I'm gonna, change my life or making a lot of money in real estate. So I was just thinking about, getting away, also using this course as a portal to learn the culture and learn how things work here, even like improve my language skill. And also at the same time, I have always been a sales since I graduated from university. So, I mean, this is like basically it's also kind of like a sale, but in a different kind of industry. So I took several months, I think it was like 3 months, and I got my license. And at that time, I also got my legal document. I was able to work at the beginning of 2018. That's also how I got my license at the same time. So that's how I started, this world. And also, it also like was huge encouragement from my then boyfriend, now husband, to start this journey.
Wow, what a journey then you have. And well, no, you speak fantastic English. Your language skills, no problem there at all.
Thank
So,
you.
well, what a transition. So, can you share maybe a memorable experience from when you started? I mean, that must have been pretty tough. And how did that solidify your decision to pursue this career?
Well, actually, I kind of, really just like myself back then because I was so driven and so desperate. I literally given up a job like most people think, oh, it's a perfect job. You travel around the world, go to all this trade show, meet all different people, work with all these people from all over the world. But I know I really wanted a change, so I started in this. And then, I also have no any other support other than my boyfriend, you know. And then I just realized I just have to make it work. I just put my back against the wall, go out there, do whatever I can, trying to look up how to succeed as a new real estate agent. I would do cold calling, I would do door knocking, I would host open houses every weekend, at least 4 open houses every weekend, like
Wow.
just coordinate different kind of time. And I even like go out to my neighborhood to introduce myself to my neighbors, telling them, "Hey, I'm the real estate professional here. I just got my real estate license. I thought I can reach. I wanted to reach out to you just in case if you need someone that knows the area that can be helpful." So the
Wow.
first year, I was actually able to sell 12 houses out of my first year. So I thought, oh, I actually can make it work. I actually can make this as a living. And then, oh, of course, at the first, there's a lot of insecurity. I always, feel insecure about how I look because I don't look like other people and how I speak. Because I don't really I know my English has gotten a lot better, but back then I feel like a lot of insecurities with my accent as well, and I'm not sure how people will act to it, and how like keep asking myself why they would want to hire you versus someone that look like them, you know. But at that time, I don't really have any other option. I have just to just go out to, you know, let people get to know me. And then I went to these listing appointment, you know, a couple, they're actually having me helping buy and sell at the same times. So I went to the listing appointment. Though actually at that time, they also interviewed another agent like in the local area. So I mean, they gave me a lot of encouragement, you know. I was also able to explaining to them the whole process with like English, and then they were like so surprised. They were like, "Wow, English is not your first language, and you're kind of like teaching us." So they feel like so impressed. They know. I mean, this girl must work hard, you know, to get to here. So, you know, they feel like that I can, you know, be trustworthy for this whole process. So I helped them buy and sell and that two transaction at the same time, and it went great, and also helped me gain a lot of more confidence because I started to realize, you know, I started to feel like it's not a disadvantage that I don't look like them or I don't speak as good as their local. But instead, I feel like, you know, I speak two languages. You know, I speak Mandarin and Chinese and also English. So this should be my, you know, advantage, you know, to get more business. And then at the same time, I also got to know more and more Chinese community here. Because I also became a real estate at the kind of like the same times as I got into Portland metro area. So I know no one here. So I feel like that was not a bad thing back then, because if you know too much, you would feel like, oh, how many real estate in this area, you know, or how many Chinese speaking real estate agent in this area. But for me, I didn't know anything. I didn't even think about, I mean, do any research, but I just go ahead, do it. And then I start realize, oh my gosh, there's just so much competition. I'm just glad I was so desperate. And then I didn't do any other research on how saturated this industry is. But then,
Wow.
you know, I guess like if you do more, then you just feel more, you worried about it, and then just have a too much insecurity about it. Yeah. So yes, ever since I just made it work till then, till now.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty impressive. 12 in your first year, and it's not your mother language. You didn't know the area that well. That's absolutely incredible. And yes, sometimes when your back's against the wall, then you've just got to go with it. You've got to go with it. But it's
Yeah.
worked for you. It's worked for you. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
then I
no,
think one thing that really, really important for my whole career is that I do something different than other people. Is like I never wait until I'm like all ready. I'm like I will figure out my way during the process. I would not like trying to you know, get myself thinking myself, oh, I'm not ready to do it. I don't think I'm knowledge enough to do that. I don't think I'm good enough to a certain kind of clients. So I always just go out there. So my first priority always get on my feet, go get a lease, go get a clients, and then you learn along the way. You figure it out. Even like, I mean, when I started to do my investment, I mean, there's never be a really the perfect time. The perfect time is just now. You have to do it and then figure out on the way. So you know, when I
brilliant.
started doing the short-term rental and then start investing and then even start to doing all this flipping houses, it's just sort of, I mean, whenever just you feel like you do it, you just have to take the action instead of trying to wait until a certain time that you're ready. You will never
Yeah,
be
you'll never
100%
be
ready.
ready.
Yeah.
Brilliant advice. Because yes, so many people will wait until everything's perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Imperfect action will be perfect inaction every single time. So, well, how does being a real estate investor now that you are influence the way you advise your clients, especially maybe first-time buyers?
Well, yeah, definitely. It definitely helped me, becoming more knowledgeable and also expertise in my area. It also definitely keep me super active all the time. So when I'm not serving my clients, or I'm always like, doing my own business, like my short-term rental, which I have to know the regulation, the trend on that side of business. And then also owning long-term rental, management long-term rental makes me always know, I mean, the rental market, so I can serve my investment clients better. And then also like flipping houses, these also, always keep me be vigilant about the market data, inventory data, appreciation rate, and also interest rate. I feel like you have to know that to better guide your clients. Yeah, so for first-time home buyer, I would say, I always be extra super patient and compassionate for my first-time home buyer, because they're not like other buyers. They don't know. They sometimes don't know what they're doing, but they think they know. So at this time, I think the extra patience is really important, because they might ask you to see a house that you totally know it won't work for them, or they might want you to write an offer that will offend the seller, nor it has stand no chance. But you need to understand, I mean, this is still a process to gain the trust. You will still have to do it. You still have to show the house, write that offer. But then just don't think this is like a waste of time. It's a process of gain interest, gain their trust. So they will learn. I'm sure they will, learn from it, and also listen to you the next time. So I feel like, this is just also how I, always stay updated with the latest market trend and also change. So I feel like, this is also always keep me like being super responsible to the clients that put their trust on me.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So, well, what do you find most rewarding with regards to building the lifelong relationships with your clients in the real estate industry?
So for me, I always, have this huge gratitude towards my clients. I feel like the things I built in a short past of like 6 or 7 years, it's all because of my clients. My clients trust me, and then I'll just do whatever I can, to help achieve their goal, whether it's a first-time home buyer or first-time investor, and or even like a seasoned investor. And I would always utilize my expertise, knowledge, and even like resource to help them. And then in return, they will refer me, business, and then also the family and friends. But I have found, so I have the opportunity making a lot of friends from my clients, and then also some even like a business partner. So after a few transactions we did together, I just totally showed her how to run this Airbnb business from the scratch, how to turn their long-term rental into a short-term rental. So even like show them the rope where I sourcing my products to furnishing their Airbnbs. So, and then she was like quickly to learn, and also started a few Airbnb her own, and then also even like furnished several Airbnb for her friends, or you can see like her clients. And then we feel like beginning of this year, we just feel like like the Airbnb is, the business is kind of like getting saturated. I mean, we're still standing in a really good spot, but we can't do something different other than that now. And then we just decide, work together. Maybe we can just flip houses together. So I always wanted to do this, and she also always wanted to do this. And I feel like I already had this really good resource. I have all this different contract team, that can do the work, because I have, renovated a few houses in the past, or turned it in a short-term rental and also long-term. And then we just started this business. So, and then she's not like me, you know, she's like in her like in her 50s. So she doesn't really have another job rather than being a just casual real estate investor. So this is like her, like a main work, you know, main job or something. And then me, I still selling houses, manage my rentals. So there are a lot of work. So it's also hard for me just to do all this by myself, you know. So I need to someone who, you know, also feel like share the same kind of value and also goal with me in real estate to do this together. So ever since we just started flipping houses together, I feel like without her, I wouldn't do it so soon. And also without her, I couldn't, you know, take this vacation without always being concerned or worry about how the project is going. So since then, you know, we feel pretty good about each other. So, and then we will keep this going. Yeah.
Brilliant. So there you go. You never know what's going to come out with some of these relationships that you're building. So you're dealing with short-term rentals, long-term rentals, you're selling houses and you're flipping houses. Wow. I mean, how much did you do last year? How many different things have you been doing? Where do you have the time?
Yeah, so actually my production has lowered a lot from, you know, 2021, 2022. So back then I kind of selling, I listed 35, 40 houses a year. And then last year I only did 20, and this year I'm closing my number 19th end of this week. So
that's still amazing. That's still amazing.
Yeah.
On top of your rentals, on top of flipping houses. You know, how do you have time to do it all? I mean, what's the focus for you next then? What's your goals for next year?
Yeah, to be honestly, I don't think that I'm quite busy. I guess it's also because of I don't have kids yet. I'm preparing to have it. That's why I mean having partner in the flipping houses side is really helpful. And also I'm bringing a co-host for my to take care of my rental with me. But I feel like, you know, maneuvering all these different things. One thing is very important is always prioritize things. I feel like, you know, we see it often, always have a priority, but sometimes, you know, you don't really have that prioritize, you know, you don't really prioritize your things that clear. For me, you know, there's tons of things can happen at the same times, but to me, I feel like my main focus, I feel like, you know, to me, my most important things is like my real estate business, my real estate client. But then at that point, there is also a different kind of priority, you know? So let's see if I have a, you know, a Airbnb guest telling me something, you know, there's power is off or water is, you know, off in the unit. And then I have another client who asked me, hey, Jessica, can we go see these houses? Looks like it really fits in our criteria. And then I have another seller says, oh, I want to sell my house. Can you come over? But, you know, all these things can happen at the same times. But at that point, I feel like, you know, to send a message to my guest in my Airbnb says, oh, thanks for bringing this to our attention. I mean, so sorry for the inconvenience. I mean, I will work in our schedule. Our handyman to come there shortly. I'll keep you updated with the schedule. But then doesn't mean like I have to just at that moment, I just have to go ahead and do it. But at the same time, I just know my priority is let my guests know that I'm on it. Don't worry, you know, stay put. We'll get it sorted out for you. And then they know they're taken care of. And after I send that message, and then I will go to my buyer client, says, hey, what time works for you? And let me check this house if it's like still available. You know, you don't have to jump out, go show at that moment. You can find out what is your client's situation, what is the house situation. And then, you know, that house maybe not even available to show at the moment. So you just always have to stay calm. Have have this prioritize things, and then, for the seller clients, I feel like the seller clients usually, especially if they're like a repeat clients or from them before, or is a referral, and they can wait, right? So you can actually just, oh, let me look at my schedule and I'll get back to you, later today, and then you kind of buy yourself more time to do some research of the client's house, and then you schedule that listening appointment, and then also
communication.
That communication
is key.
Like the importance of the each things that you're on it. So that's Brilliant. Very important to trying to do all the things at the same time. Just don't be panic. I mean, everything it's temporary. Once you get it over it, I mean, it's over. It will not stay there. We will not always like in the middle of chaos.
Absolutely. There's no need for it. But it's been lovely speaking to you, Jessica. So our final question is always the same, because here at Icons, we are not just a podcast. We are the #1 real estate podcast. And so if you had your own podcast, what would you call it?
I would call it JOW real estate investing, because I have this JOW Realty under my brokerage, and then also I have this JLW Construction LLC. So for our flipping houses. So I mean, sometimes I feel like, maybe I should have a cooler name other than just my name initial.
It's got to be in sync. It's all got to be in alignment. So that's perfect.
Yeah. And also it says about you, once they see these 3 letters, they know it's you. They know it's like all related to all this different business.
Exactly. That's absolutely correct. So for the listeners, how would they reach out to you? Because you're doing so many different things, and if they're interested in buying, selling, renting, investing, how do they reach you?
And then definitely my website, and also my business card we can share. And then also for social media, I'm active on Facebook and also Instagram. I constantly sharing, our project and also our Airbnb, mishap, or even like a successful story and all that. We do it all. I mean, they were at point I even, trying to catch the mouse myself, set the mouse trap in my unit, and all these little things.
So to the listeners, because all your notes will be in the show notes, but if they're just listening, what is your website?
So my Instagram handle is JLW Realty. That's very simple. Yeah, you can get to my profile from my Instagram, and then also my Facebook is facebook.com/JLW Realty.
All the same. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And to the listeners, I'll be back next time with the Icons of Real Estate. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye, Karen.